If you are searching for sober living, one of the first things that can throw you off is the language. You search for a sober house in one state, a recovery home in another, and a recovery residence somewhere else, and it can feel like you are looking at three different things. Most of the time, you are not. You are looking at different names for the same general idea: structured, supportive housing for people in recovery. Once you understand that, the whole search gets easier. The first thing to know is that the naming is inconsistent, not necessarily the purpose. Different states, organizations, and operators use different terms. Some say sober living, some say sober house, some say recovery home, some say recovery residence. That matters because people often assume the terms must describe completely different models. Sometimes there are slight differences in formality, structure, or certification. But at the broadest level, these terms usually point to housing designed to support sobriety, stability, and recovery. That leads to the next point, which is that some of these labels do carry a slightly different tone. Sober living is often used as a broad umbrella term. It can describe a range of homes, from fairly structured programs to more peer-supported environments. Sober house or sober home is also common, and in some regions may suggest a simpler peer-run model. Recovery home or recovery house often sounds a little more structured and accountability-focused. Recovery residence is the more formal phrase, and it is often tied to standards-based language used by groups like NARR. So the words can hint at how a home presents itself, but they do not always tell the whole story by themselves. And that is why the next distinction matters so much. Recovery housing is not the same thing as every shared or transitional housing model. A halfway house is usually tied to re-entry from incarceration and may involve legal oversight. A homeless shelter is designed for emergency or temporary housing, not specifically for recovery support. Transitional living is a broad category that can mean many things, with or without a recovery focus. A group home can serve all kinds of populations and may have nothing to do with addiction recovery at all. So while the language inside recovery housing can overlap, there is still a real difference between recovery-focused housing and other forms of communal living. Where this gets even more confusing is when regional habits change the meaning of the words. In Massachusetts, for example, sober house is often the common term because recovery house can carry a more specific legal meaning. In the Carolinas, recovery home is often the phrase people use most naturally, and in everyday conversation, some people may even use Oxford House as a catch-all term for recovery housing, whether that is technically accurate or not. In Florida, sober living and recovery residence are often used almost interchangeably. So if you move from one state to another, or even just search online across different regions, you can feel like the field is fragmented, when really the terminology is what is shifting. That is the practical lesson for anyone looking for housing, referring someone to housing, or building content about housing. Do not get stuck on the label first. Look at what the home actually offers. Is it substance-free? Is it structured? Are there house rules? Is there peer support? Is there accountability? Is there a standards-based framework behind it? Those questions tell you far more than the title on the website. The takeaway is simple. Sober living, sober house, recovery home, and recovery residence are often different names for the same basic category of recovery supportive housing. The words may change by region or by organization, but the real question is not what the home is called. It is whether the home actually provides a safe, stable, recovery-focused place to live. If this was helpful, like the video and subscribe for more guidance on recovery housing. And if you're trying to make sense of sober living, focus on the structure behind the name, not just the label. Vanderburgh Sober Living is a mission-focused, nonprofit membership organization bringing consistency, accountability, and clear standards to recovery housing. Our chartered homes are built to operate with structure and purpose. To find a home like that, or learn how to start a sober house, explore Vanderburgh Sober Living at the link below.